All right. Mock draft 3.0. Come on down.
Come on down is right. So, Drew, I text you. You are going to handle the even numbers, and I will handle the odd numbers. So, how I want this to end up happening is, yes, we are going to do trades. Drew, if there is a trade that you want to call for, whether you want the third pick, the fifth, the seventh, the ninth, the 11th, if you want one of those picks and you want to move up, tell me before I start to make a selection. I will do the same thing to you. If you want to trade out of your position, one of your picks, let me know. I might have a proposition. And now the other part of this as well is if you, let's say, you have the fourth overall, right? So if you have the fourth overall and you have the 12th, the 14th, whatever, and you want to trade up with that 14th or 16th or 18th pick, you can trade up because that is also your pick as well. So that's how the trades are going to work. If you want to make a trade with one of my picks, you got to call me. If I want one of your picks, I got to call you, vice versa. Okay. So I will handle the odd numbers. Drew, before we start, do we have any objections or clarifying questions before we jump right into this mock draft?
It sounds based off of the rundown that you just gave me that you've done about 10 hours more of research on this than I did.
Okay.
So I'm
That's
very
okay.
excited.
So first overall, we're gonna go and trade out of this. No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go with Caleb Williams again. Chicago fans rejoice. You can be sad at the moment for Justin Fields if you're a Justin Fields fan, but end up rejoicing for Caleb Williams. Cheer for the people that are on your team. Come on down. Now, second on the clock, we have the Washington Commanders football team, Redskins. Who are we going with here?
Jayden Daniels.
Jayden Daniels, LSU. Drew's been on this train. He's been on this horse. He's riding it into the sunset. I don't know how much I buy into this one, but Drew, you're really onto it. What's really pushing you for this Jayden Daniels second overall?
Their offensive coordinator. That's what it is, and I know you hate him. I know you hate him.
I do.
And all the research and all the noise and everything I've heard. I believe in this so much. I have money on this. I've bet on this.
I have the third overall pick. The Patriots are only going to select a quarterback if they are in love with them. Patriots are pretty tight-lipped right now. There's not a lot of leaks that are coming out at the moment, so it's hard to really tell. At the moment, I'm going to say that they are not in love with the quarterback at the moment and that they want to build on what they have right now, and they're going to go ahead and take Marvin Harrison Jr. with that third overall pick. Now, you do have the fourth overall pick. Drew, I want to make a phone call to you. We do have... I have the odd numbers. So I do have picks 11. And I do have pick 23 with the Minnesota Vikings. And Marvin Harrison Jr. isn't on the board anymore. So I would like to make a proposition to you. You still make the selection at fourth, but I would like to trade Minnesota Vikings to the Arizona Cardinals. Do you want to make this trade or you want to sit and make the selection here?
So here's my thing with this, man. The Minnesota Vikings are going to take J.J. McCarthy. That is who they've done their research on.
Yep.
You're going to go to number 4 to take J.J.?
It's a good question.
Because now Drake May is sitting there, which I don't agree with, by the way. We've gone off the rails already. But I guess this is good because now I don't have to call you about the Minnesota Vikings trading up to number 5 with the Chargers to get J.J. McCarthy. So I'm glad we're both on board with the Minnesota Vikings jumping into the top of this round to take their quarterback. However, as the Arizona Cardinals go, broken that Marvin Harrison just slipped through their fingers. I would be willing to accept a trade back to no longer pick in this spot because Marvin Harrison Jr. was a big answer here. And there's no surefire guy right here that makes sense for the Cardinals where they sit. Unless they're doing a draft day trade of Kyler Murray.
Yeah. So here's what the trade compensation, obviously this is going to be super exact. This is what the trade compensation is going to be for me. We're going to go 11 and 23. Those picks are non-negotiable. They have to be in this trade regardless. You can't do the 11 and a first next year and first year after that.
No.
11 and 23 have to be in this trade regardless. So 11 and 23 to the Arizona Cardinals, obviously for pick 4. And I'm going to throw in, I would like to throw in a second for 2025, but they don't have that second. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw in a third, and I'm going to do a late round swap with them. So 177 for 186 in this draft, a third next year, the 2 first-round picks this year for the 4th overall.
We're obviously questioning if 16 and 31 can get us to 9. So questioning whether 11 and 23 can get us to 4. I honestly don't think it does. I think to make this trade, you're looking at 11, 23 and their 2025 one, but we'll see.
Yeah.
And honestly, I kind of love that all for if you can get 11, 23 and 1 for the Cardinals to move down to 11, where honestly, if you're the Cardinals here, who are you taking? You're going to take Neighbors, maybe you're going to take Odunze, maybe, or you're going to take the tackle. You can get the tackle at 11. So if that's where you're headed, brilliant. So good job to me for accepting the trade.
So we do have the 4th overall pick. Drew, this is still yours. So we are going with JJ McCarthy in this spot.
Well, you're making the trade, my man. So if you're making the trade, I think you should make the pick, to be honest with you. Who were you trading up for? It's not Drake May because they're not scouting this to think Drake May's there. So it has to be JJ, right?
Yes, and with them going with private workouts with JJ McCarthy very recently, he's like one of the only quarterbacks it's the only quarterback that they've had a private workout with. They're going specifically with JJ McCarthy in this one. Now, do I agree with this? I do not. This is not what I would do. This is just kind of like a predictive thing that can happen. We do have 2 other mock drafts up on the channel. Go check those out. Plugging it in. Mock Draft 2.0, Mock Draft 1.0. One of them's Drew's, one of them's mine. Go check them out. You're not missing.
One of them's
you're missing
better.
out. So we have the 5th overall in this spot right here. We do have Malik Neighbors here. We have Rome Odunze. We have a tackle. I honestly think this could be a prime trade out spot. Because there is still a quarterback sitting here. And I think that the New York Giants are going to get a little antsy here, and they might want to take a Drake May if he falls. So I think there might be a team that might want to move up. And if we're talking about a team that might want to move up, there's really only one.
Oh, you want me to pick up the phone and dial, huh? At number 12, you want the Denver Broncos to call and see if they want the pick.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Broncos are on the phone. Bring, 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 bring. I think you're absolutely correct. I don't think this breaks down this way. I think the Patriots are 100% taking quarterback. But if it does, and the Broncos are going to be trying to do what they can do to leapfrog the Minnesota Vikings, I just hope for these teams' sake that they've done their due diligence on all these quarterbacks, because that's the thing with the Vikings is you're sitting there, you now have this ability to trade up, but Drake May's sitting there. Don't freak the hell out. You did your draft work. You know who you want.
Yeah.
Take who you want. So the Broncos get on the phone with the Los Angeles Chargers, and they offer
I have the 12th. I have a first round next year, and we can go hypothetical with a year after that as well, because they are moving up quite a few spots. But I am looking to maybe go in a different direction, because the Chargers do need a wide receiver. And I'm not sure how much Sean Payton really feels like. It doesn't feel like he's a huge fan of certain wide receiver that he has who's very young on his team.
Oh, don't say him. Don't say it.
Marvin Mims.
Oh, no. The 12th and Marvin Mims? Wow. I would do that in a fucking freaking instant if I was the Chargers, the 12th and Marvin Mims. You still get your tackle. Everybody thinks they're taking Joe Alt anyway.
So you still get, I have 2 first-round picks, Marvin Mims, and obviously the Broncos are moving up for
Justin Herbert and Marvin Mims. Marvin
So
Mims goes
let's
from Russell Wilson to Justin Herbert? Oh
yeah.
my gosh, he's going to be a superstar X Factor next year.
So looking at it, 5th overall, still an odd number, still my pick, and obviously we're not trading up for anything else but a quarterback. Drake May is where we're going. Just at the first 5 picks, man, we got a bunch of trades in here. We got some oddball things. Okay,
But at
it's
least you
unique.
fixed it. At least you fixed it. Like, this is probably what the
Yeah,
top
they're
5 is
going,
going to
bro.
look like anyway. So we're good here. We're cool. We're cool.
All right, we have the Giants on the clock. What are we doing here?
They're taking Malik Neighbors.
Okay.
That's been who's been mocked to them by everybody everywhere. Freaking 1,500 yards last year, 14 touchdowns, almost 100 receptions. Like, the dude's a beast. I'm going to be honest with everybody. I'm a bigger fan of Dunze, but I'm not an NFL draft scout. I'm just a podcaster.
Let's go. We're Odunze, wide receiver 2 on the podcast, unanimous.
I'm just saying.
Let's go. I think there is a conversation for Odunze here. The interviews with the New York Giants at the Combine went very well. With Odunze, everything went out very positive. Both sides seem to love each other a lot. And I think Odunze gives a little bit of a different flavor to that wide receiver core that has Jalen Hyatt and Wan'Dale Robinson. So I think there's a conversation there. I also think there's a conversation for Odunze here at 7. But I'm still going to go ahead and I'm going to go Joe Alt.
Whoa.
Odunze's right there. He's really, really close. You have the wide receivers on the roster, Calvin Ridley. I know DeAndre Hopkins is going to be up for contract, I believe, next year. You have the guys on the roster. Maybe Treylon Burks turns into a big slot guy. Maybe he can finally work out. Trading away A.J. Brown to draft A.J. Brown obviously makes a lot of sense. Drew's favorite move, obviously. But we're kicking the can down the road. We're making our left side
except for when it's
solidified.
Treylon Burks.
Now we do have the 8th pick on the board.
I have a question.
Okay.
If this draft falls the way that I'm predicting it to draft currently,
okay,
which is 1, 2, 3, 4, all quarterbacks, and the Chargers are sitting there at number 5, and they can take Marvin Harrison, or they can trade back to 12 and get Mims and the 12th pick. You get the tackle and Mims. Would you take the tackle and Mims, or would you take Marvin Harrison Jr.?
No one's guaranteed.
But is Mims guaranteed?
You've seen him play, and I think there's promise there. I don't think he was played as much as he should have been. I think that you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, and the more shots you take, the more chance you have it for hit. Trade back, take the first round picks, take Mims. So obviously you get a tackle, you get Mims, you get another first in the future. I think that's where I'd go. That's really close. It's hard. I think that might be where I go, though.
That being said, I'm going to go chalk here. Everybody's mocking him here. Jacob disagrees. That's fine. Number 8, Dallas Turner, Atlanta Falcon.
It's the player that I disagree with. The position, not so much. I think that defensive line is in need of a lot of help with some aging guys on it. Even like Grady Jarrett, he's starting to age a little bit. You do have a couple guys there, but they don't perform as much as you want to. Arnold Ebiketie hasn't turned into the guy that you want to. So I think Dallas Turner is a good scheme fit as well, especially with the new head coach there, right? Big defensive guy. 9th overall. I don't think I want to trade out of this one. We're going to go ahead and stick. Now, do I want to stick and pick? Do I want to go wide receiver? We have Rome Odunze here.
Okay. Just because you're not going to trade. Do the Bears pick up the phone for the 31st overall pick and Brandon Ayuk here?
And Brandon Ayuk?
Yep.
No.
There's probably some value to make it match, like a 4th or something from the Bears, but
I think the fact that you have to pay Brandon Ayuk is going to diminish it a little bit, but you do have that luxury because you do have that luxury because you aren't paying a quarterback. So it's a little dicey, At that point, you're pretty much telling Keenan Allen you're on a 1 year and that's it. because you have DJ Moore locked up for a little while. You're pretty much telling Keenan Allen it's only you're gonna be on the team, which kind of feels like a waste a little bit. I wouldn't.
Okay. I mean, it only is even a question if Odunze is still on the board here or Neighbors is still on the board. I'm not trading up for anyone else, but
yeah.
So what are the Bears doing, my man?
We're going with Rome Odunze. I just brought it up. Keenan Allen is the last year of his deal. Rome Odunze is a technician. If you think about Laiatu Latu as an edge rusher and how he's a technician, Rome Odunze is a Laiatu Latu of wide receivers. Super technically sound, great feet, great route running. His long release is fantastic. Not a lot of wasted steps. Big fan of Odunze. We're a Odunze number 2, wide receiver 2 on this podcast, which I didn't know. We're gonna do obviously wide receiver rankings in the future. So this little sneak peek was fun. Man, you got the New York Jets here, dude.
Yeah, so who's your offensive tackle number 2 here? Do you got Fuagwa? What do you say for me?
Okay, so this is weird. So I've always said Fuaga, but it's actually Fuanga.
That's what. Okay, Fuaga. Okay.
Yes, it's Fuanga.
Or
super
do you
strange.
have what's his name?
Fashanu.
Yeah, Fashanu. Thank you. Jesus. I think I'm taking Fashanu.
Can I be honest? Just be right before you take this.
Yeah, don't say JC Latham or something.
No, I don't have a tackle plan. I don't have a tackle.
You don't for the Jets?
No.
What the? Who are the Jets taking?
I think that with your Super Bowl window super limited,
they don't have a Super Bowl window, bro. Come on.
They think they do.
Their quarterback's decrepit.
Doesn't matter. They think they do. You go out and you go get tackles, right?
Can I ask you a question?
Tackles. You have your right tackle and your left tackle. You have Elijah Vera Tucker, and you brought in another guard. I forget who it is. You think you bolstered up your line enough, and you want to go get a playmaker? Those top 3 wide receivers are off the board.
You want them to take Brock Bowers?
I'm thinking Brock Bowers. Now, again, this is where you're at. So
I have a question. I'm definitely going tackle here, but my question is how can they make a run to the Super Bowl if Aaron Rodgers is making a run to the White House?
Oh, no. Great point, but apparently there's already been a running mate chosen outside of Aaron Rodgers, so runs are fun. It was a good run while it lasted, I know.
All right, well, out of Penn State at offensive tackle, Fashanu, come on down.
Olu. Fashanu. All right, so I do have the Cardinals here. This is too early for a wide receiver, in my opinion, so we're not going to go in that area, even though you do need the help. We need defensive line help, and I'm going to go and take a Byron Murphy here for the Arizona Cardinals.
That's so early.
It is a little early. I'm a big fan of Byron Murphy. I'm not the biggest Jer'Zhan Newton guy. I have him drop down a couple of spots more than a lot of other people.
What about Quinion Mitchell?
You can, but I think that defensive line needs a little bit more help. And I don't think that Byron Murphy, he's not a one tech. Like, you're talking about a guy who's a 3 tech and he can play end. Like, you're talking about one of those guys. God,
Okay.
I hate to say it, but like one of those guys who like an Aaron Donald, where he plays a multifaceted of positions. Not saying he's Aaron Donald, just saying he plays a bunch of different positions on that defensive line. Byron Murphy brings that same type of flavor now to the Arizona Cardinals, who desperately need some help on that defensive line. You have the Chargers at pick 12. What are we doing here?
The phone is ringing.
Oh, okay. The phone's ringing.
The Eagles are on the line.
Okay. The
Eagles are going to give up 22.
Where is the Eagles? Oh, right there. I should just look for the trash can. So 22.
And 53.
Okay, 53 this year's. Okay.
And they're going to move up. And they're going to take the other offensive tackle.
Okay, so we have 22, 53 moving up with the Los Angeles Chargers, who are moving back once again. We're going to go and enforce this. and we're taking an offensive tackle. We're taking Fuanga.
Yep. And can you bring up the Chargers real quick now? And let's just see what we've done here and what we've gotten them. Because trust me, it's tempting to take Brock Bowers there, but I'm just going to stick with. So the Chargers traded out of 5 and they picked up.
Yeah, so they ended up picking up Marvin Mims. They ended up getting a first, which again, they ended up trading back again. So it ends up turning into the 26th pick in the draft. They get next year's first from the Denver Broncos, and they also get a 3rd round pick, pick 53, or no, 2nd round pick, right? Yeah, so they get a 2nd round pick from the Philadelphia Eagles in these trades, again, plus that Marvin Mims as well. So,
and I know we won't get too deep into this, but I can tell you who they're taking with 53.
Okay. Okay. Is it a running back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think there's a 4th or a 5th that come with this also. 22 and 53 is not just enough. Maybe even a player.
Yeah.
But I think that Fuaga is a good fit for a team like the Eagles that need offensive line help, and Howie Roseman is crazy. And I love the idea of this.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
And if you do something sane here, I'm going to slap you because we all know something crazy is coming here.
Okay. So we have the Raiders. 2 things that we need a lot of. We need offensive line help and we need corner help. We have those 2 things that we need.
That makes too much
Bowers sense. Slip is going to continue. There's 2
If they're
guys.
taking a corner, they're taking Cooper DeJean, bro. They're going to do it. They're going to make him the first corner off the market.
I could do something a little bit ridiculous. Okay. What do the Raiders love? They
Speed.
love athletic guys, or on the offensive line, they love just big maulers, right? Guys who maybe are a little unproven, but they're maulers. So you have 2 options here at this position. You have Quinyon Mitchell, who is my corner 1. Sorry, corner 2. Excuse me. No disrespect to Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid's my 1. And the other guy that you have a lot of consideration for is J.C. Latham. Those are your 2 considerations here. But I think they need a lot of help at that cornerback position, but not as much as that offensive tackle position. J.C. Latham, I think, is more of a guard than a tackle. You sit him at tackle now until he fails. When he fails, move him into guard, no problem. I think he's a little bit too big. I'm not sure about the arm length, really, to play that tackle position. J.C. Latham out of Alabama. The Raiders do love their Alabama players as well. Shout out Henry Ruggs. Anyways,
hopefully this guy buys like a truck even or something. Pick 14.
Pick 14.
What's so funny?
The New Orleans Saints. Nothing. You're good. You're fine, bro.
Brock
what are we
Bowers.
doing here with the to the Saints? Okay. This
Didn't we mock that already?
Slated. To the Saints?
I think I did that in my first mock.
Oh, maybe you might have. So look, maybe I should go back and watch Mock Draft 1.0 like the rest of everybody else.
I'm
Brock
just saying,
Bowers
bro,
to the New Orleans Saints, an offense that needs a ton of help.
With Derek Carr, the offense needs a ton of help. You just said that, didn't you? That's weird.
Yeah, I think that's fair. The Colts need corner help.
You wanted to take
defensive line. They needed a tight end.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're crying too much over it. I think there's still other guys who are out there. Jatavian Sanders later on. You have that kid, Penn State. Maybe he's not Penn State. I'm maybe misremembering. He's like Theo something. Super athletic tight end. Blew up the combine. So he might be in play in later rounds. So I think that you can find that hole
the
being
corner
filled
disrespect
at a later
in this
point.
mock draft is terrible.
Yeah, a little bit. So what we're going to go ahead and we're going to do is we're going to take one of them right now. And I'm going to go and take Quinyon Mitchell again, my corner 2, sit on an island. You brought back Kenny Moore, so you have your slot solidified. You have an outside guy now. You got to keep building though on top of that to get where you want to. Your favorite team, the Seattle Seahawks, at pick 16. What are we doing here?
My favorite team, the Seattle Seahawks, are gonna go edge, Jared Verse.
Okay.
And they're gonna forego the idea of signing Jadeveon Clowney.
Good point. I do have the Jaguars on the clock here, and I have a question. How long do the Jaguars stick with a guy like Cam Robinson? Big cap hit, average player. And my answer to that is maybe not that long, because I'm going to stop the slide of a player that I like a lot, Troy Fontenot. We're going to go tackle at that Jaguars position. He's a tackle. Yes, a lot of people have him slated at guard. Look at the arm length, bro. The arm length is nasty. It's insanity. Okay? Huge, huge, huge arms. Low-hanging fruit guy. Excuse me while my dog goes ahead and she unplugs my headphones, so I can't hear anything that's going on. So Troy Fontenot to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Cowboys suck.
On the clock next is the Cincinnati Bengals, and they're probably not too happy as tight ends off the board. A lot of the top tackles are off the board. Top defensive interior guys off the board. Where are we going with the Cincinnati Bengals?
I think that I wanted the Cincinnati Bengals to draft Brock Bowers, but I took him already. Damn it. The Bengals got to go tackle, right? I mean, who's kidding who? They need some help for Joey B over there. So let's go ahead and throw down Amarius Mims for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Man, he goes earlier and earlier in mocks, and it just sucks so much because I really want Amarius Mims to the Cowboys. He's one of my favorite players. Mock Draft 2.0, go watch it. That's where I got his mock too. If you're a Cowboys fan, you'll like it. I promise. Go watch the film. But to the Bengals, you'll like them too. Go watch that film. Oh, yeah. Shout out to Bengals fans showing out for the free agent video and then giving us all the love in the comment section. You guys love that video. Obviously, it doesn't have a bunch of dislikes on it. You guys showed out. We have the LA Rams on the clock
Zach
here.
Moss.
Yeah, shout out Zach Moss.
We have the Rams
here. And we're going to go to the cornerback position. We have a little bit of a run here. Terrion Arnold to the LA Rams is we're going to go. You have pick 20 here. Huh?
Really?
Arnold?
Yeah.
Yeah. Over DeJean? Is that why you're confused?
No, can you scroll back up? I need to see where we're at here.
So you're at pick 20. Real quick, before you make this pick, the phone's ringing.
Oh, that's going to be tough.
I think it's pick. Who's on the phone? Oh, it's the San Francisco 49ers are on the phone right now. Drew, do you want to go ahead and pick the phone up and listen to the offer they're offering?
I'm intrigued.
So, the Niners, where are we at? Oh, look, I just had to look for the trash can again. No, we're not trading a pick. We're not moving up. We're going to keep that pick 31. We're going to keep it right there, solidified. We're going to throw Brandon Ayuk in there. You and I talked about this a little bit, right? Brandon Ayuk. Oh, no, I know, right? We have the 20th pick in the draft, and let's go ahead and throw in a third as well. Now, Drew, as a Niners fan, and you saw what the offer was, are we going down and are we throwing in a Calvin Austin into this too? Is that what we're throwing into it? Or are we just doing a first and a third, and maybe a late pick swap, or are we going with a guy like that?
If this is the offer on the table, I think the Niners would take it. You know what's
The
crazy
first and the
is,
third.
they had the 10th overall pick from the Jets a couple years back for Deebo Samuel. They didn't take it. Now you're taking a 20th for Brandon Ayuk.
Yep. So,
Okay.
what do you say, Drew?
Done deal.
Brandon Ayuk, 20th. Let's do it.
Now,
Forcing
since
the
you
trade.
made the trade, let's hear the pick.
So the San Francisco 49ers, where do they need help? Offensive line, obviously, but I think you can get some of these guys down closer to that 31 pick. So I'm not super intrigued by that. You do need a lot of corner help, though, and you need a lot of edge rush help. So there's two guys that are really weighing on my mind at the moment. It's Mr. Cooper DeJean and it's Laiatu Latu. Those are the two guys that are weighing on my mind heavily. And I have Laiatu Latu as my edge one, and this is where I'm going. Laiatu Latu, edge rusher, UCLA. You're staying in California, kid. It's moving costs, cheap moving costs. Let's get you up to Santa Clara, and let's get you in a Niners jersey. That's where we're going. All right, Drew, how do you feel about having Laiatu Latu on your team? Is there a place that you would rather have gone in that situation?
I mean, you gotta figure out a plan to replace Brandon Ayuk's production, and I'm not sure if we solved it here. So, if I'm a 49er fan, I'm probably staring at the TV thinking, "What the fuck are we doing?" Because we just signed, what's his face, the edge rusher with 10 plus sacks last year, Leonard, and now we have no number one wide receiver on the team. So, definitely an interesting situation there.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I know we don't make a whole lot of, you don't trade away a player to try to draft a player, and that's what I'm avoiding in that situation there.
It's a weird place for wide receiver also.
Yeah, it is. You kind of have a no man's land. I think the next earliest wide receiver can go as early as like 15, 14. But then the next it can go as late as what? The next wide receiver can go as late as 23, 24, depending on how it goes, 25, 26. I mean,
could the 49ers do this pre-draft starting and take 31 and 20 and get into the top 10? Yes. Would the Chicago Bears take 31 and 20 for 9?
If it's the Chicago Bears, then yes.
All right.
I think if you look at some of the other teams, I'm not sure. Miami is an odd number team, so I'm going to go ahead and pick this one up. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this one. You lost Christian Wilkins, and I know you want to replace him. So we're going to go ahead and replace him with Jazon Newton, interior defensive lineman. Immediately fill that spot. Now we're at pick 22, an even number. Right back with the Chargers once again.
You're much higher on this guy than I am, so you've already selected him, but I think, I'm talking on the Dolphins pick, but I think that they would do jumping jacks for Byron Murphy right there.
Yeah, so, if they could get him, absolutely.
Same thought process.
Yeah, definitely.
So we got the Chargers, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And what do the Chargers need? The Chargers need a little, they need a little offensive tackle action. They need a little cornerback action.
Yep.
They need a little wide receiver action.
For sure. Absolutely.
I think they're going tackle.
Okay.
I think they're going tackle because the whole point of trading out of 5 was that they could pick up the wide receiver and they could get the tackle. So now you've traded out of 5. You picked up the wide receiver. Now you're getting the tackle anyway, and you picked up all those picks, and I am a big Tyler Guyton fan. So Tyler Guyton, come on down.
Let's do it. All right. Tyler Guyton. The Arizona Cardinals are on the clock here. Cardinals have another pick, right? 27. Yep, okay. Arizona Cardinals are, I get both those picks. Arizona Cardinals, are on the clock, and they still need a wide receiver, and this is where I'm going with LSU wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. Get some speed on the outside for Kyler Murray. It is a little high, depending on who you're talking to. Again, some of these, I hear some guys saying Brian Thomas is a third-tier wide receiver in this class. Brian Thomas is a first-tier wide receiver in the class. He belongs with those top 3 guys. I hear both sides. I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I think he's a second-tier guy, a guy who's a 2, who you're going to get a ton of upside from in a bunch of Pro Bowl years sprinkled into his career as well. So Brian Thomas to the Arizona Cardinals. You have even, so you get the Dallas Cowboys pick. It's funny because I get the Niners picks, you get the Cowboys picks.
Just to throw this out there, I don't think that if you were to bet me that Brian Thomas goes higher than that, it wouldn't surprise me because it's such a long run from potential, 3 wide receivers going in the top 8 or 9 and then a break. I just think based off of what I've watched of him, it's a little high. But I also think you just selected him right there, so I couldn't have the Cowboys take him because I know you're kind of not great about that. And since you're not great about that, I'm going to go ahead and slot you in with the do-it-all guy on the offensive line, and we're going to go with Graham Barton.
As a tackle, I don't like Graham Barton. If you slot this man into a center spot, I'm much more willing to do this. I know guys are really high on Graham Barton. I actually just went back and watched his film, and people in the comment section were like super in love. Oh, he doesn't get beat a lot. And it's like, I'm not looking at whether this guy gets beat a lot. Where's his hand placement? How are his feet? He does a lot of heel clicking when he tries to reset when he's getting pushed on power. Offensive tackles do this like jump reset. Will do a little jump backwards and they'll plant their feet and they'll kind of arch up a little bit. His is horrible. He has like no power on his front side and his legs. He has none. As a center, I'm a little bit more willing to do it. As a tackle, I'm not about this pick too much. So
Can I
it
tell
kind
you
of depends
something
on where
though?
he's been playing.
The fact that you hate it so much makes it even more likely to happen. Because when was the last time you liked the Cowboys' first round pick? And don't be talking no Micah Parsons, because I know you did not like that Micah Parsons pick.
I did not like the Micah Parsons pick.
I mean, you were right about last year. I don't even remember the guy's name.
Mozzie Smith. Yep.
Yeah, Mozzie.
Yep.
We're gonna go all in this year.
So, yeah.
Isn't this an interesting pick?
The Packers.
Yeah.
I mean, do I just want to go with the thing that everybody does at this point?
I mean,
everybody goes with it. I'm going. Damn. Yeah, I'm going Cooper DeJean. You need help on that cornerback position. That cornerback room is not good outside of Jair Alexander. Even the guys that they have there, they're super unhealthy. And you need help at safety.
Yeah,
you can only play one position.
You just filled the spot. I would have gone Tyler Nubin.
Okay, yeah. So Cooper DeJean, same idea. You get a guy who can play safety, play slide, play outside. Very athletic guy. A little stiff in the hips, but I think he can get a little bit more fluid, a little bit more experience under his belt. We do have pick 26 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. With Tampa Bay, where are we going?
Bring up edge, bring up defensive line. That's where they need to go. I think they would love to get Jared Verse here. Unfortunately, in this La La Land, he's already gone. And I think they would love Latu here, but he's a 49er now. So I'm going to go ahead and slot in Braden Fisk for them. And that's where they're at. Frankly, they could go corner here. I think Graham Barton has been mocked to them a lot because they need help all over the offensive line. So there's a lot of things that they can do here, but this is where they go for me with this pick.
Absolutely. I'm a huge Braden Fisk guy. I really like the tape. I'll tell you this much. I'm not a huge combine person. The combine should solidify things. You don't multiply something. If you know a guy is fast, you don't multiply that speed and move him up the board. You know he's fast. You know what he can do. You don't move him up. Braden Fisk, I saw the combine stuff before the tape. When I got to the tape, I really enjoyed it. Super athletic guy. He's in 99th percentile with a bunch of his drills, but huge guy here. 27th. Man, 3 first-round picks is a lot for a team to have, and they're not going to have 3 of them. The phone is ringing currently, and what's kind of cool about this is the phone that's ringing, nobody has the pick. We're going to go over to the trade. We're going to go over to the New England Patriots. We're going to go pick 34. We're going to go to a later round pick. We're going to go pick 80. And we're going to pick 27. Could be more than this to jump up, but we're talking about a high second round pick 3. And they're going to go ahead and move up in this draft. Okay, so again, we're New England Patriots.
Are you going to take Bo Nix?
I am not going to take Bo Nix.
Okay.
But I am going to take a quarterback. I'm taking Michael Penix Jr.
Oh my God.
In this spot. The reason I'm trading up is you want that 5th-year option for a quarterback. I think we see at the tail end of this draft, a team is going to trade up for a Michael Penix or
they got
Bo
Michael
Nix.
Penix and Marvin Harrison Jr. Oh my God, you're a little bastard. You did a ton of research on this. That's really good. I disagree 100%, but I think if you told the Patriots, hey, listen, you can take Jaden Daniels or you can take Drake May or you can get Michael Penix and Marvin Harrison Jr., I think they might just say 2020 podcast, come run our draft for us.
Yeah, we're gonna get a phone call here from Gerard Mayo pretty soon. Shout out Gerard. He's a huge fan of the podcast. Please,
unfortunately, they're not actually going to pay us. They're just going to give us a lifetime supply of mac and cheese.
Yeah. With Mac Jones' face on it. Said, "Yeah, this is the surplus we had to get rid of." So
no, it's not his face on the box. It's literally the noodles or Mac Jones' face.
All right. So we have pick 28, even number. This is all you. The Buffalo Bills with their cap situation. They had to cut a bunch of guys on defense. They could use some guys on offense.
Yep.
Where are we going with this?
You know, the Buffalo Bills right now, they have a need. They have a need for speed.
Let's go.
Straight out of Texas. And they are going to select one Xavier Worthy. 1st round pick flying up the board. I think the Bills would have loved Brian Thomas here, but he is gone. So Xavier Worthy, come on down.
Yes, sir. So,
God,
look
at the fall for Nate Wiggins. What the hell is going on?
There's a lot of concern about Nate Wiggins' health and his weight, and I'm going to continue to let that slide. I'm not going that right here. This doesn't feel like a Dan Campbell guy. I think there's a couple guys, corners in the draft who feel like Dan Campbell guys. Maybe like a Mike Sanderstill. I really like him. Slot corner. Ooh, Kamari feels like him. Ennis feels like him a little bit. Jaron Jones feels like a Lion a little bit, but not a Nate Wiggins. The place I want to go to is my wide receiver 4. We have Texas guys going back to back. A.D. Mitchell to the Detroit Lions is where I want to go. You have pick 30?
I do.
Baltimore Ravens.
Do you know where I'm going?
No, I don't think so.
I'm going a place that I think will make this player just shoot to the moon, man. And he's Penn State currently. And you don't get a better sack name than Chop. And we're going to go ahead and select Chop Robinson, and he's going to slide right in there to that Baltimore Ravens defense, and he's going to start wreaking some havoc.
Man, I know that we haven't gone wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers, and I'm going to go continue to let that slide a little bit further, unfortunately. Just because how the board fell, you know, if we had Mr. A.D. Mitchell fall here, easy. I would slot him into the Niners spot. Easy if A.D. Mitchell fell into the Niners lap, and obviously Brandon Ayuk is gone. But I think that you might want to take a little bit of a look at a center spot. You need offensive line help. I know previously you went Zach Frazier. But if you went with a center that's higher up on the board, JPJ going to the San Francisco 49ers. So in this draft, you get JPJ and you get Laiatu Latu. And next up, and the final pick in this draft, Kansas City Chiefs. Where are we going?
Well, the Chiefs are going to wait a little longer to pull the trigger on this, but um, as they're surveilling the defensive backs that are somehow still available here, some really
Mm-hmm.
quality ones have fallen at corner. They're going to go ahead and pull the trigger. Go ahead and bring up those corners. And my guy, who I've already talked about with the Jones fracture here, they're going to go ahead and pull the trigger on trading away L'Jarius Sneed, and they're going to fill it with a star corner from Alabama. And I think you're going to get the Jalen Carter type. How the hell did this player fall to the Kansas City Chiefs? And Kool-Aid McKinstry, come on down.
So just to recap for the people that are
Where's the
audio
grade?
only.
Do you not pay for the premium?
No, I do. If you go through a full mock, I've never gotten a grade doing all teams.
Okay.
If I go through individuals, I get the grade. Like if I go through the Cowboys or the Patriots or whatever, I get the full grade, but full mocks I don't. It's weird. Audio only. First overall pick, Caleb Williams. We have Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison Jr., J.J. McCarthy to the Minnesota Vikings. We have Drake May to the Broncos, Malik Neighbors, Joe Alt, Dallas Turner, Rome Dunze, Olu Fashanu. Now the Cardinals who traded back get Byron Murphy. The Eagles who trade up get Talisi Fuunga, J.C. Latham, Brock Bowers, Quinyon Mitchell, Jared Verse, Troy Fatanu, Amarius Mims, Terrion Arnold. The San Francisco 49ers trade up, and they end up getting Leatu Latu, still keeping their 31st overall pick. Drazon Newton to the Miami Dolphins. The LA Chargers, this is their pick now. They get Tyler Guyton. Their second pick, the Arizona Cardinals get Brian Thomas Jr. The Cowboys get Graham Barton. Cooper DeJean, Braden Fisk, Michael Penix Jr. to the New England Patriots as they trade up from the second into the first. Xavier Worthy, A.D. Mitchell, Chop Robinson, JPJ, Jackson Powers Johnson, and to round it out, Kool-Aid McKinstry. That is our mock draft 3.0. Go check out our other two mock drafts that's pre-free agency, but go check them out. See what our opinions are on a lot of these guys. We're going to have a 4.0 coming up in a couple of weeks. We're going to have positional rankings for all draft stuff. So if you enjoy this content, stick around. Now, Drew, any final comments about the mock draft before I shut it off and we move along?
Nope. I was trying to see if I can find an outright winner and loser here on the loser side, and everything seems about right here. And the winners are obviously subjective. So moving on.